Hi, and welcome to another episode of Play-by-Play commentary with me, Inlo. Today we'll be looking at BakSteen versus Distant Light on Raya. We are now in-game, and in today's match we'll be spectating BakSteen. Before we get started, I want to make a note on how weebles are being utilized in this matchup. So he's getting the upper mega spawn, so now he's probably looking at grabbing the plasma mega and then go towards the lower blue. And since his pincer is such an important weapon on this map, he's gonna put pressure on the pincer to see if he can catch or deny the pickup of the item. Okay, we could see that he wasn't able to deny the pickup, but was able to do some damage, but he took more damage in return. So now his priority is to take a top position and listen for any movement from Distant Light. He also is looking to grab the LG, and this is something that Distant Light will be aware of because it's a huge advantage for the next fight. That's a nice read by Distant Light. With the damage BakSteen takes, he can't afford to push into the red armor room anymore. So BakSteen's objective now is to stay outside to listen for the item timing, or try to cut off his opponent's exit, or at least do some damage when his opponent moves towards the next major item. That was a risky play to go for the LG, and he's lucky that Distant Light wasn't able to do more damage. We could briefly see that he used the slow weeble while exiting the LG room. This served two purposes: preventing his opponent from chasing him down, and slowing down his movement if he decides to take the lower route towards the blue and the mega. His opponent now has full control and has significant stack advantage, so his objective is to ensure that he has the item timings, safely pressure the major item pickups, and build up his own stack. BakSteen's main priority now is to avoid getting killed until he can stack up safely using blue armors, or until there's an opportunity for a split on the major items. So he's moving between positions where he has escape options and where Distant Light can't easily push in for the kill. Now BakSteen has a 100-100 stack, which allows him a bit more freedom in which routes he can take around the map, as it becomes harder for Distant Light to kill him if he uses choke points to his advantage. He might even challenge for majors if he's smart about his positioning. Now is such a situation where the Mega Health and the red armor are shortly after one another, and he has to make a quick decision if he's going to contest for the next red armor. Distant Light just took the Mega Health at 115, and BakSteen knows that with his stack, his opponent is going to look to challenge for the red armor. A great sequence here. At first, BakSteen blocks off the fast route towards the red armor by spamming nades, which forces Distant Light to take the long route towards the red armor. This gives him an opportunity to contest for the red armor if he's flexible about his positioning and reading his opponent properly. He hears his opponent entering the red armor room, so he knows he's took the lower route. He then has a position where he can still escape if he reads his opponent correctly. At this point, Distant Light has a few options. He can respect BakSteen's position and throw pincers at him from below, or go for a more aggressive move, which is a rocket jump up, or take the teleporter, or lastly double jump up in the corner to get up. Because of the way how the last grenade curves up, BakSteen thinks he's going down the steps into the teleporter and decides to commit to taking red armor. This ends up being a misread, as Distant Light chooses to double jump up in the corner. With quick thinking, BakSteen salvages the situation by escaping with an implosion weeble. In the end, this fight ends up in Distant Light's favor, as he's still in control of the map, because BakSteen now has to go look for health bubble, while Distant Light can directly go for a better position. Good reads, positioning and execution by Distant Light here to score the first frag. BakSteen's objective now is to prevent the conversion frag and focusing on out of control play until he can get his stack back up. He gets a favorable spawn at the Mega, so he now knows the timing, but so does his opponent. So his objective now is to prevent taking any further damage, get all of the weapons he needs and stack up open blues and shards. And if he's able to establish control over the Mega Health area before the next rotation, he can possibly end up in a situation with a 200 and 150 stack. And then he can proceed to take control over the red armor. He wasn't able to prevent taking damage before the next rotation of the Mega, but with good positioning, the smart usage of Wii balls, he was able to escape getting fragged and masking his pickup of the Mega health. Now he has a better stack than his opponent and all of the weapons he needs and in a better position, so now he's looking to go for a push to establish control over the red armor room. BakSteen is really good at jiggle picking and used this tactic to beat his opponent. I do think that Distant Light stuck around for too long in this fight, but that's very common when engaging in jiggle picking fights, since you're taking small amounts of damage and too late you realize you have overcommitted. BakSteen's objective now is to go look for a conversion frag and establish control of the map. He wasn't able to do a conversion frag, but he's been able to deny access to the LG and the pincer and start rotating one of the blue armors. So now he's looking to use that to his advantage by pressuring the next major rotation from a distance. If he's able to get a pincer or two into his opponent, he'll be able to get a clean pickup of the red armor and ensure that his opponent won't hear the item timing. In this sequence, he's using his weapon advantage to deny entry into the red armor room and also denying the pickup of the blue. Once his opponent leaves the room, he goes for the blue armors first and then pick up of the red armor, allowing him to fully stack up and delay an obfuscated pickup. With a full armor stack, he's now looking at a good chance to get a clean pickup of the next Mega health and start hunting his opponent down. Here he has been able to maintain his stack, but his opponent is doing an excellent job at out of control play and is limiting BakSteen's movement. He doesn't want to risk moving through the middle because it will expose him too much, so in order to contest for the major item, he needs to find a way to get on a top position, otherwise he will be likely to lose out on the major item rotation. Using good positioning, he's been able to prevent Distant Light from picking up the Mega, but since the items are almost synced up, he's using the Implosion Weeball to move around quickly and get in position to either contest or do damage on the next red armor pickup. BakSteen has used his weapon advantage to restrict his opponent's movement, but now needs to quickly get into position for the next mega. Really well played by both players here, but BakSteen ends up on top. First we see Distant Light predicting BakSteen's movement and closes down the hallway by using a slow Weeball. BakSteen counters with throwing a smoke Weeball to mask his movement and uses a rocket jump to close the distance, and then uses stack advantage to go for the kill. BakSteen's objective now is to establish map control. Good play by Distant Light to deny BakSteen a conversion frag or map control. BakSteen still manages to do enough damage to equalize the player stacks. Now BakSteen's objective is to keep rotating the blue armors and maybe use them as trap, as getting one of the blue armors will increase the chance to get the next major item. Here BakSteen reads Distant Light's movement and uses the choke point to fight over the blue armor and ends up getting the kill. He now is looking at a clean pickup of the mega, and he has enough time to get into position for the next red armor. So his main objective right now is to establish full control of both major items. With the last two frags, Distant Light has become desynchronized from both major items, and BakSteen has now established full control over them. BakSteen's objective now is to go for a conversion frag and establish full map control. My guess is that he'll now take a strong top position in the middle of the map where you can hear and see as much as possible. Using good positioning, BakSteen has been able to score a conversion frag and now is in full control of the map and the match. At this point, Distant Lights will need to start taking bigger risks to get back into the match again, and BakSteen has to be aware of this. BakSteen had pushed into the LG room, guessing his opponent would spawn in the vicinity, but then hears him moving towards the pincer and quickly moves to intercept his opponent and gets another conversion frag. Since it's almost time for Mega, he'll now focus on rotating the items and try to prevent Distant Light from picking up all weapons. Here BakSteen has been able to cycle one of the blue armors, but he knows his opponent has been able to pick up at least one blue armor and the red armor, equalizing their stacks. Now he'll move into position for the next blue armor cycle and see if he can prevent his opponent from picking up the pincer. He also knows that his opponent is running out of time and probably taking bigger risks, so he needs to be aware of this and try to avoid getting caught in dirty fights without any escape options. Distant Light takes a big risk and goes for an aggressive push and almost catches BakSteen, that narrowly escapes. Here I think BakSteen should have picked up the slow Weeball before he cycled one of the blue armors, but ended up going directly towards the pincer without picking it up. If he would have picked up the slow Weeball, he wouldn't have lost much time and had a stronger defense against Distant Light's aggression. Distant Light is now able to stack up, so BakSteen's objective is now to quickly find health bubbles, grab the mega health and find a strong position, cause Distant Light is running out of time and will continue playing aggressive. Using a strong position, BakSteen is able to prevent Distant Light fragging him, but he is now in a very weak position. Distant Light has control of a bigger part of the map and will be stacking up using the 50 bubble, blue and red armor, and will then move aggressively for the next mega rotation. BakSteen on the other hand is left with a small stack, there is a lot of time between the upcoming items and his side of the map is cleaned out. He knows he will get killed if he overcommits before the next major item rotation, so now he needs to go into a very defensive auto-control play, find position where he can quickly escape and hope that he can maybe steal a major item or die on his own terms, which means getting killed at a time and position that leads to a favorable spawn. Distant Light finally gets the kill and quickly moves towards the red armor to establish full map control. BakSteen now faces a situation where he's playing against a fully stacked aggressive opponent with a frag deficit. This can create opportunities for mistakes that he can take advantage of. His main priority is to stack up, grab all of the guns he can get and play very defensive, basing his movement using audio cues and only taking fights on his own terms. Here BakSteen hears his opponent in the red armor room and he doesn't want to get caught on top of this platform, so he jumps over to the top mega corridor as it's a strong defensive position. From there he'll be hoping he can do some damage before the next major item rotation. He'll also try to maintain pressure on the item, but since there is still a lot of time before the next mega rotation and he's still at a significant stack disadvantage, he'll have to play very defensively and ensure that he only takes strong defensive positions that allows him to escape. In this sequence we can see that BakSteen has taken strong positions around the mega, putting pressure on Distant Light and making a pickup of the item difficult. Distant Light uses a smoke weevil to mask his pickup, but BakSteen is able to negate the pickup of the mega using a well-placed rocket. The stacks are now similar, but BakSteen still hasn't picked up the LG, so we'll now try to find a way to pick it up. Wow, what an exchange. Excellent combat skills by BakSteen, but he took a lot of risk here. Distant Light correctly predicts BakSteen's movement and takes a strong position and catches him inside the LG room and hits him with a pincer shot. BakSteen is able to save himself with a flick pincer and then covers the angle and catches Distant Light with another pincer shot, and then uses the unimplosion weevil to surprise Distant Light with a killing rocket. BakSteen now wants to fill up on health and he wants to prevent his opponent from picking up the pincer and use it to his advantage for the next major item to rotation. That last fight tilted Distant Light and he's now starting to ventilate his frustration. Frustrated players have a tendency to play very loose, and I think BakSteen knows this, so he will probably keep his distance and frustrate his opponent even further by playing very defensively and picking him off using the pincer. The last thing he wants right now is to allow his opponent to close the gap and catch a break. Distant Light is taking a lot of risks and plays very aggressively, so BakSteen keeps his distance and using his weapon advantage and waits for Distant Light to make a mistake. Distant Light pins BakSteen down on the top platform using the slow Weeball, which gives him enough time to do a pickup of the pincer and then get an open shot at BakSteen. So far, really well executed, but then he faces a decision to either go for the red armor or the mega health. My guess here is that he wants to prevent BakSteen from getting a spawn on the red armor, which allow BakSteen to potentially stack up on red, blue and LG. I think this is a mistake, because he's almost fully stacked on armor and should almost always prioritize the pickup of mega health. Now BakSteen ends up spawning on the mega health and can now proceed to pick up the mega and the pincer, which will allow him to keep his opponent at a distance. Then all BakSteen needs to do is to pressure from a distance, and if he's able to avoid taking damage until he's fully stacked up on armor, he'll regain full control of the map again. Here we can see that BakSteen takes a strong position on center map that allows plenty of escape option, ability to hear the timing of the red pickup, and use the choke point to either pin or slow down his opponent's movement. If he's able to do enough damage or prevent his opponent's progress, he'll be able to get the next mega. BakSteen gets the mega and the blue, and he now has a slight stack advantage, so now he needs to contest for the next red armor to prevent his opponent getting a stack advantage and a chance to take control. Fantastic execution here, and he's able to do this push because he has the exact timing of the next red armor. A perfectly timed and placed rocket to pincer combination gets him the kill just in time for the red armor spawn. But however, at best this would be a 50-50 situation, and there's really no need to go in for these fights when you have a 7-3 scoreline. Anyways, now he wants to get as much blue armor as he can and prevent his opponent from picking up all the weapons before the next mega health rotation. Now BakSteen has full stack, and the game has entered the golden frag phase, so now he'll try to set up a trap to finish up the game while maintaining rotation on the major items. Both players are playing very defensive and avoiding any 50-50 type of situation. In this encounter, BakSteen disengages because he doesn't have a favorable position. The mega is coming up, so he needs to figure out a way to get there without disclosing his position or taking any damage. Here the players have traded major items. BakSteen still has a stack advantage and is now looking to set up a trap or engage in a fight where he has a strong position and the initiative to deal damage first. BakSteen catches Distant Light in the LG area and pushes in for the final kill, but Distant Light is able to keep him off. During the fight we can see how BakSteen moves over the 50 HP, hoping it will be there for him, and then to the blue armor. Getting the blue armor allows him to push into the red armor room and contest for the item. BakSteen is able to deny his opponent entry into the red armor room and gets the item. He now has a stack advantage and can push for the mega. Wow, really nice sequence to finish up the game here. On his way towards the mega, BakSteen picks up the implosion Weeball and then uses it to push for the mega, which ends up catching Distant Light off guard and out of position, which leads to a real nice frag to finish the game.